When I was 16, my uncle owned an old farmhouse in the hills of northern Pennsylvania, not far from the edge of town. It sat beside an abandoned road that led down to an unused church, one with broken windows, tilted steps, and a bell tower that still swung when the wind moved just right. He warned me not to go near that church. I laughed, thinking he meant ghosts as a joke. He didn't laugh back. I was staying with him for a week while my parents traveled, and the house sat at the end of a 5-mile dirt stretch surrounded by woods. The first day was quiet. The second day felt heavier. The third day made me regret ever visiting. I first heard it at 2:13 a.m. A bell, heavy, metallic, ringing slowly across the hill. Dong, dong. Pause, dong. I sat upright, thinking maybe a fire alarm from a distant barn or some old farm equipment, but it chimed too cleanly, too controlled. The bell stopped. Then I heard footsteps on gravel. Not heavy, not fast, just someone pacing near my window. I froze, holding my breath. The window screen had no curtain. Moonlight hit the glass. I could see nothing, but I swear someone was standing just outside the frame. Then came whispering, not words, just a voice, dragging sound. A whisper like someone praying into a microphone. When I finally moved, I grabbed my phone. No signal. Of course. I forced myself to sleep on the other side of the bed, facing the door. We lost power because of a storm. The house went completely black and silent. My uncle slept in the spare room across the hallway. At around 1:48 a.m., I heard voices emerging again, more than one this time. Not yelling, not chanting, just murmuring. Soft, layered, like dozens of people praying at once. I looked out the window. Pitch black yard. Then lightning flashed, and I swear I saw them. A gathering of figures standing near the tree line. Not moving, not walking, just standing shoulder to shoulder. Facing the house, lightning flashed again. They were gone. I tried waking my uncle, shaking him, calling his name. He did not move. He was breathing, but he wouldn't open his eyes. I tried again. Nothing. I dragged his heavy arm. His eyelids twitched, but he didn't respond. Something outside spoke. A full sentence. A woman's voice, stern, emotionless. My heart dropped. I didn't know who she meant. My uncle? Me? Then the bell rang again. Boom. And he finally woke up just as sudden as if someone snapped their fingers. No memory of me shaking him, no memory of any sound. He simply said, "Go to sleep." I made the mistake of looking through the window again. The moonlight was brighter that night. I saw something standing farther down the hill. White fabric, long sleeves, a gown. It never turned, never blinked, just stood facing the backyard. I backed away. Then the whispering came again, but this time it came from inside the room. Not from outside, not through the window, from behind the door. Soft, confident, familiar. "We prayed for you." I stepped back. There was something like feet, shifting on the wood floor behind the door. I couldn't breathe. I picked up a chair and pushed it under the doorknob. Not because it would stop anything supernatural, but because it was all I could do. Then the doorknob turned, slow, gentle. Someone on the other side moved the handle downward, realizing it wouldn't open. Then came tapping like fingernails brushing down the wood, and the whispering continued. Answer, answer. The power came back on, and everything stopped, just like that. My uncle took me to the church. I didn't want to go, but he insisted. The structure was collapsing but still standing. We walked through grass up to the steps. He pulled keys out of his pocket, old bronze ones, and unlocked the warped door. The air smelled like burnt wood and stagnant water. Inside, rows of empty pews faced an altar. But above the altar, names had been carved into the wall, dozens of them. I found one name at the bottom, not like the rest. Carved freshly and cleanly, my name, not just the first name, full name. As if someone traced it straight off my school ID, I backed away. How, who, why would? They remember everyone who stays here, my uncle said. They add them to the wall. Some are prayed for. I didn't reply. Couldn't reply. I left that night. Not because I wanted to, but because I needed to. I don't go near woods at night anymore. I don't stay near windows. And I never stay somewhere without checking every wall. Because I sometimes still hear church prayers when I sleep. Always distant, always layered, always waiting. And sometimes around 2 a.m., I hear a bell. When I was 19, I rented a small upstairs apartment in a 3-story house from a woman named Evelyn. She lived on the first floor, an older lady, calm, quiet, always smiling in a way that wasn't exactly comforting. The house was built in 1899, according to the plaque over the entry door. Creaky floors, slanted walls, heavy doors that needed a shoulder shove to close everything about it. Felt like it was never updated. My place had 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and a living room that barely fit a couch and a TV, but there was something odd. The hallway outside my unit had an extra door near the stairwell with no number on it. The door was horribly repainted, as if someone tried covering whatever was underneath. I assumed it was a closet until the night I realized it wasn't. Around 2:15 a.m., while trying to fall asleep, I heard coughing behind that door. Not loud coughing, soft coughing, like someone was trying not to be heard. At first I thought maybe Evelyn had another tenanta relative or some old storage area someone lived in temporarily. But the coughing sounded close, very close, as if someone was standing just against the other side of the door. She paused longer than she should have and replied, "No one." She walked away. That should have been a warning. At nearly the same time, again 2 a.m., I heard movement behind the door. Soft pacing, a dry shuffle across wooden flooring. At first, I wasn't sure if I heard it aloud or if I was half dreaming, but then it repeated slightly louder. "Please, turn the light off." The hallway light was on. Whoever lived in that room didn't want it on. That meant someone was in there. but Evelyn said there was no one. I turned the light off, not because I wanted to, but because I was afraid something would happen if I didn't. The whisper stopped immediately. No footsteps, no breathing, nothing. Just silence. I left my apartment early in the morning for class. When I stepped into the hallway, something made me freeze. The white paint on the mystery door was different. Fresh, wet, dripping. Someone painted over it again sometime during the night. But beneath the wet paint, I could see indentations, long vertical scratches, as if fingernails had clawed repeatedly from the inside. Not random marks, desperate scratch marks. They were deep, too deep for wood to naturally crack. When I leaned closer, I smelled it. Fresh paint, but also something like mildew and cold basement air leaking through. I left quickly. Around 2:09 a.m., I woke to someone knocking. Not my apartment door. That door. 3 taps. Slow. Almost polite. I sat up and listened. Tap. 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 I froze. I waited for my heart to slow down enough to stand. I opened my door just an inch so I could look down the hallway. The hallway light, though off, was glowing faintly, as if something behind it was lighting it through the cracks. The unknown door was slightly open, just an inch. Someone was pushing from inside. I saw fingers thin and pale slipping through the gap. Not reaching for me, just feeling the air outside. The door swung a little wider. That was enough for me. I slammed my own door and locked it. A moment later, scratches, fast. Scratches, rapid scratches started against the door outside, and crying. Low, pleading crying. Please, please, please. It lasted maybe 20 seconds. Then footsteps walked slowly back inside the room. No more noise. I ran down to find Evelyn. Her door was open. She was sitting at the table eating toast as if nothing was wrong. She didn't look up. I yelled again. I told her it clearly exists. I told her I heard someone. I saw their hand. She shook her head. You do not understand what it means when someone stays too long inside a house. Rooms remember them. Sometimes they keep echoes. Sometimes they keep leftover pieces. I left before she finished. I packed my things. I planned to leave before sunrise. But at 2:15 a.m., right on time, something changed. No scratching, no knocks, just singing. Soft, sad, almost childlike humming. Coming from that room, I opened my door slowly. The hallway was dark. The door to the room was open, wide open. Inside, nothing. Just an empty room that looked like it had been abandoned for decades. Rotting wallpaper, no carpet, no furniture. Just stained floorboards and dust. No sign of anyone living there. Except one thing. In the center of the room, a small folded note. I stepped inside slowly, carefully, and picked it up. On it was written, "Thank you for turning the light off." Not signed, not dated, but I recognized the handwriting. Small, delicate, childish lettering. The same voice I heard. Something cold entered the room behind me. Air shifted. Floor creaked. I knew something was standing just behind, so I ran. I moved out that morning. I never saw Evelyn again. Sometimes, though, when the house settles in my new apartment, when the heater clicks or wood shifts, I swear I hear scratching. Soft, uneasy, And every now and then, someone whispers, "Please turn the light off."